Hey everybody, welcome back to Responsibly Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm going to be answering one of the most frequent questions I get asked, and that is, what's my favorite bourbon, and or what's the bourbon that I would recommend to somebody who has never tried bourbon before. This is going to be a back to basics video, and this is going to be a quick review of Woodford Reserve Distiller Select, which I realize I hadn't done a review of this by itself before, but that could be the answer to both those questions. So sit back. Alright, let me get this poured, and we'll start talking about it, but Woodford Reserve comes from Woodford County, Kentucky, Versailles, Kentucky, and this one is definitely one of my all-time favorites. It's only been around since 1996. But it's got a great nose to it. It's got a lot going on there. It has some corn sweetness for sure, but you can get a little bit of oak on the nose. You can get some vanillas and brown sugars and stuff on that too, so it's very nice. And the distillery location has been there since 1812. They claim to be one of the oldest distilleries in the country. It's not continuously distilled there, though. It was closed for several years, and it's gone by several different names. Yeah, it was originally the old Oscar Pepper Distillery, started by Elijah Pepper, passed down to his son Oscar Pepper, passed down to his son James Pepper, who sold it to farmer and distiller LeBrow and Graham. So it went by the LeBrow and Graham name for quite a while until Brown-Forman bought it in the 1940s after Prohibition. So, but they closed it, and it was closed until the 1990s when they rebuilt it and reopened it. So that's when this product was introduced, was 1996. Let's give it a quick taste. Cheers. All right, it's got a little bit of a spice hit right up front. It only comes in at 90.4 proof, so it's not a real high proof bourbon, which is one reason I recommend it for a beginner. But it's got just a lot of flavors going on. It's got that little bit of spice. It's got some sweetness too, and like I say, it's got some oak on there. Now, one thing that they do at Woodford Reserve is they have pot still, copper pot still stills there. So this is actually a mix of pot still and column still bourbon. The pot still is distilled in Woodford County there at the distillery, and the column still comes from Louisville from Brown-Forman, which is the same Old Forester distillate, and they blend those together as they go into the barrel and age that way. So the exact proportions are unknown. The mash bill is known, though. It's 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. So the rye is a little high. Gives you that spiciness, depending on what how it hits you. It could be a peppery spice, could be a cinnamon spice. Today, for me, I would say it's borderline peppery. It's not as sweet as some other bourbons, but it's delicious. Got a good dark color to it. This is definitely one I enjoy as a low proof sipper. I also always recommend Buffalo Trace as an alternative to this. Some others that I would recommend as to a first time or beginner bourbon would be Michter's US 1 bourbon. Delicious and easy sipper, but it's a little more pricey. This Woodford runs about $30 a bottle. Same price roughly as the Buffalo Trace, which may be a little harder to find. Michter's is going to be a little bit higher than that. But then I also would recommend a cheaper alternative would be Evan Williams Black Label, which comes in, I think, at 86 proof these days. And it's got a good spice kick to it, and it's a nice sipper too. And it runs half this price. It's like $15 a bottle. So, but if you're going to be mixing it, Evan Williams is definitely a place to go. Woodford and Buffalo Trace are cheap enough where you can mix them too and not feel too bad about it. But you could definitely mix the Evan Williams and feel good about that one. So, yeah. I love the nose on this. That pot still may give it that little bit of a different, difference to other bourbons. So there's a little bit, you might get some honey, or you might get some other notes on that. Longtime master distiller Chris Morris, who retired a couple of years ago, I think in 2023, said that one of the things that they try to do with this is even out all the edges. So if you look at the flavor wheel, or the flavor wheel for a bourbon, and you look at all the different notes it can hit, some bourbons spike on certain things, like they'll spike on oak, or they might spike on, brown sugar or vanilla and all that. Supposedly, according to Chris Morris, he said they actually tried to keep this very well rounded and not have any spikes, get rid of the spikiness, and basically have all the flavor notes contained and nothing real spiky. I'll try to show a graphic right here. I think they've definitely hit that, and it's probably one of the reasons that I would recommend it to anyone that hadn't really been a bourbon drinker before, because nothing's going to overpower it. It's just got everything I like about a bourbon, including the mouthfeel. It's definitely got some viscosity there. It's not super thin or watery. And just the flavor and the spiciness and the finish of this is nice. It's got a lingering, spicy, nice flavor. All right, there you go. Highly recommend Woodford Reserve. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. If you like Woodford Reserve or haven't tried it before or been looking for it, let me know. Leave some comments down below what you think of it. If you like it or don't like it, it's a very nice, well-rounded bourbon. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. The best bourbon comes from Kentucky. Cheers.